I, Danielle Renee Vanovitz Benonic Smith, have been married twice. Once was through psychological abuse and stalking that was facilitated by the Department of Defense for violation of a federal crime victim right to privacy statute. In 2003, I ended up getting stuck in North Carolina. 2004, actually. Yeah, 2003. And, or October of 2002. Yep, October 2002. And when I got stuck in North Carolina, I had been on a phone hotline and had heard this person and I chatting. Like, he seemed like I heard of a wonderful person. And I thought that I was going to meet them, but I was very nervous because I had a lot of stress in my life, being a child victim before the age of 10 and then a victim again at the age of 18 of human trafficking and kidnapping. In North Carolina, this person and I did not end up get together, but his brother broke into his phone and answered the phone when I called one day and decided he was going to show up at my apartment and pretend to be his brother. After 3.5 years of being lied to and deceived and made uncomfortable by certain mannerisms and things like that, I saw that the bathroom had been allowed to deteriorate, but I tasted metallic stuff in the tea at this policeman's house. And I told him that the tea had tasted funny, and he sipped it and kind of shrugged it off. I knew then that this police officer and the landlady next door were drugging people. Probably not just me, but probably the other ladies that had come around the house and stayed for quite a bit. And what most people would have probably perceived as her negligence for not looking in the shower. But if she's not bitching about the shower, does that mean that she's putting stuff in the tea in the house? Sort of thing. You know what I mean? Like, I think she knew that he had failed to notify her there was an issue in the bathroom, and she didn't care to say anything, because as long as he didn't care to say anything, when one of us popped up pregnant with a whole litter, then he would have to say something. This person had made me so uncomfortable with the drugging and things like that. He had pointed out an advertisement in the Greensboro paper. It said that they were going to be making $100 an hour. And by this time, 2.5, 3 years had gone by of me tolerating lies and deceptions, awkwardness and uncomfortable feelings. I stayed faithful to this person to the point that I literally had never had a girlfriend in my life, but I asked if they minded if I experimented, and I was very honest, okay, knowing that my dad tried to barter my hand in marriage and a backwards drug deal as a child to the Mennonites with a 5-gallon bucket of marijuana and a 24-pack of Budweiser. I literally did not anticipate the rudeness, the disturbing stuff that I suffered. I saw the ad to the paper and went to a job interview and came back and literally looked at him like, you are the most horrible person who could never, ever, ever have sincerely loved me in your entire life. The next day I went back and had told the person that I wasn't comfortable doing the sex trade situation, but because I had been a dancer, he was welcome to advertise that he had the door-to-door singing telegram type entertainment. And when I was there, he didn't advertise it. And when I said I was going to work, I'd call and see if anybody had made any calls, like if I had any calls, and I didn't. So I'd just go home and ended up hooking up with the neighbor, Greg. Now, I don't know if people are aware or not of how, issues or problems start or whatever, but somehow Greg mentioned the policeman's landlady to me. So my confusion in regards to a relationship or who was who, I'm very guilty of having a lapse in memory there. However, I know when I went to the abortion clinic, the policeman that pointed out the disturbing article in the paper to me, to hurt me, to show me he didn't love me, to show me that he hated me and he hoped someone shot, killed me, or choked me to death. Even though I've been having my neck, Adam tried to snap my neck and sodomized and raped me, he himself knows that people say yes or no to certain things. And I don't believe any of the women there realized just how stupid they sounded, being willing to cheapen their own personal banks. But when I knew that I was being drugged by the law enforcement officer's landlady, probably with the law enforcement officer's knowledge, and I knew the person that I was canoodling with at my house did not want children, I chose to terminate my pregnancy, and I had my sister drive there. If my sister had a cousin, a relative, or anybody come there to steal my discarded biohazard, they're to be prosecuted. That is not acceptable. It is not condonable. He was married to my dad's mom's sister's daughter. He jumped tree branches. He married in and had my cousins with her, I believe. Okay? I would not ever touch my freaking cousins. Okay? I knew who he was. He knew who I was. So when we got together, we didn't treat each other badly until he was bringing drugs back from work, and he let me know that his buddy Dan had given it to him. And he got caught stealing out of my purse when I went to use the restroom. We used to sit, hang out, play cards, talk, laugh, drink together. He knew about Johnny and me venting. Yes, we canoodled, obviously, but I'm not denying that, but I'd never been asked. I made a choice. I'd had herpes and warts I'd warts ever since I was little. I have the gene in my finger. The first person that I was intimate with after high school gave me the genital skin situation that I have. I had a breast tumor since I was 12. I would not want regrowing, regenerating, life-sprouting cells put into anybody. But if they got put into anybody that has cancer now or anything like that, I am not to be penalized for that. I am not to get milked for that. I am not to foot the bill for that. And you are not to even utilize the military medical for that. You cannot flip your bad decisions being sick adults. You can't flip that around. It doesn't make any sense. When each of us has to add our pound of flesh to Christ, I've had a mole removed. I have a tumor in my breast that eventually they're going to have to cut out. Some of us don't have a choice but to be the pound of flesh that gets fluffed off to everyone else. On your accord, on your benefit. I am the pound of flesh that gets added right into the Lord's. For women to go and do that, you don't even understand. Some lady could get bit by a raccoon, not knowing she's pregnant. Find out she's pregnant, but not know she has rabies. Start to feel like lockjaw. You start to get headaches. Irritable. Go and terminate that pregnancy. And all that beginning stuff. Why even chance rabies or AIDS or anything? And in 2005, there was no instant rapid test results. So they're all guilty of attempted suicide. And they need to be put into mental health hospitals after you remove their wombs and sew them shut. Their DNA has to be charted into a plastic surgery log so that they're not able to receive the undoing unless they go to like the Dominican Republic, and let's pray that their vagina situation turns out like people's buttocks. I made my choice. I'd make the same choice all over again. And I don't care what any of the men folks said. John wrote the check because he was a freaking asshole drugging me. So he was making a litter that I was not ever wanting with him. Do you understand me? There was 13 times in 3.5 years we had unprotected sex. I was not trying to have babies with that man. I wasn't asking him to get rid of that shit. Greg and I never bought any. So, and knowing that I'm this honest of a lady, I think that your kamikaze Christian crusade is over. Because you're not going to rape people anymore and you're not going to kill each other with stupidity.